my name is Shannon Young, and I want to say thank you so much for taking time out to listen to my speech today. I also want to thank my audience, Jay, my brother-in-law, Sheila, my sister, and my cameraman, who is my boyfriend, Robert. So again, thank you, Professor, for taking your time out as well. I know it's valuable. So today I'm going to talk to you about education and how we as educators can keep God in the classroom, even if he might not be allowed technically. If you pay close attention each and every year around August, the world gets a little bit busier. Boys and girls are busy making sure their looks are exactly the way they want it. Parents are busy coming out of pocket paying for those looks. And teachers are preparing to enlighten a whole new group of students. Imagine, if you will, though, a time before buildings and chalkboards and desks, and even a time before books and written language. Even then, education was important in the community. Teachers were not especially trained or really trained at all. Actually, the elders in the community would be the ones that would teach the younger generation. They would teach them their religious traditions, and they would also teach them their customs through poetry and song that were specifically designed to rhyme to be easier to remember. They thought a rhyme would last over time. Now, imagine then when the world was introduced to the written language. Then came books, school building, and the system that we see it now. Now, the biggest change occurred in 1962. That is when the official separation of the church and the state occurred. Thomas Jefferson in the Bill of Rights defines the concept like this, and I quote, "Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between a man and his God, that he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, then the legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions. I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of whole American people which declare that their legislature should," and take this, "make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Thus building a wall of separation between church and state." Now, the most important part of that quote is this: legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. This has been separated into two different concepts. The first half is the Establishment Clause. That simply says is that government cannot declare one religion as the national religion, and the state cannot declare one religion as a state religion. Now, the second part, which is the Free Exercise Clause, prohibits the government from stopping worship of any one religion. Now, many lawsuits and controversies have came from these two clauses, but unfortunately, as of this day, religion in school is still taboo. Now, so what does this mean for teachers? That's kind of what we're asking ourselves. In an article entitled "Intersection of Church and State," published on the National Education Association website, writer Cynthia McCabe makes this very good point. She says, "The rules have been rigid. Religion doesn't make it past the schoolhouse door. Somewhere along the line, this turned into fear of any communication between the two entities." Now, according to Ms. McCabe, a church and a school can work together for the better of the students. One shining example that Ms. McCabe talks about in this article is in Oklahoma. There they have made the saying, "It takes a village to raise a child," extremely literal. If a teacher sees that a student is in a gang or on his way on the path to a gang, she will call the FACT program, led by Police Chief Sergeant Wayne Cubitt. Cubitt then dispatches what has been called Mob Squad meets the God Squad. And what this is one cop and a couple of church volunteers are sent to a student's home for what would be considered an intervention. They are actually trying to show that child a better way. Now, Cubitt's quoted in saying, "We're not there to pray. We're not there to investigate a crime. We're there to service them." The ministers often help get a foot in the door of the home, as they're typically more familiar in the community. The police and ministers often offer activities that are alternates to gang life. Now, they do admit they don't have as many success stories as they would like, but just as the gang didn't develop in a day, neither will it be disbarred, neither will it be disbanded. But if these efforts and programs like FACT could be spread throughout the world, just imagine what a change it could be. And every single victory should be considered an epic victory. Now, what about in the classroom? That's kind of what we all want to hear about. Obviously, we as educators cannot just come out and say, God bless you. We cannot come out and say, God is with you. And it seems like we cannot even say comforting words to students when they really need to hear it the most. So what can we do? Obviously, our very last resort that we have as educators to keep God in the classroom is by our example. How do we do that, you ask? We have to treat each and every student the same. You show every student love. You show every student respect and compassion. We don't stop being Christians just because we walk onto our job. One case in California where a federal judge in the Ninth Circuit, his name is Judge Roger Benitez, he gives us hope in this area. San Diego's Conway Unified School District decided that local teacher Bradley Johnson was violating the First Amendment by displaying signs in his classroom that are found everywhere else in government. One nation under God, in God we trust, and even God bless America. They even went as far to say that this line in the United States Constitution that reads, all men are created equal and they are endowed by our Creator, was unconstitutional. Now I'm going to repeat that. Let me repeat that. The phrase, all men were created equal and they are endowed by their Creator, that is quoted from the U.S. Constitution, is in fact unconstitutional? Well, Judge Benitez's ruling stated that teachers do not lose their constitutional right inside the schoolhouse gate, and that government may not squelch one viewpoint while favoring another. Now, this one ruling shows teachers everywhere that just because we may not be able to preach in the classroom does not mean that we cannot always be an example of God's love each and every day. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to my speech, and you have a blessed day.